Hey, I'm just continuing to demonstrate the rest of your dumbbell session. Sorry, there's been a break in video. We are about to do your glute raises and your flies. So I'll start with the glute raises. We're going to go for, in fact, I'm going to put my weight on my hips for these ones. And we'll go for max on each side. So it's single leg, so I'm going to put my, flatten my back into the floor. So if you've done work with me, you'll know what the box position is. Press it into the floor, lift the hips, and off we go. Okay, so I'm going to remember remember my numbers, and then I'm going to go on and do the other side. Okay, if you're still working, you carry on. I'm just going to write my numbers down. Okay, so we're going into our flies next. So this is going to be a hinge position, and then from here we're going to come out to the side. Setting the shoulders back and down. Okay. Again, completely forgetting to emphasize the 3-1-3-1, but we'll do that, our tempo, in the next time round, okay? So we're going to rest for 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll go back, repeat that round, but this time really working on our 3-1-3-1 tempo. So another minute rest, get yourself a drink, and then we'll get cracking. Alrighty. One thing is when you've got your weight on your hips, obviously your arms need to be down to hold on to the weight. Just check in with yourself and make sure we're not pressing into the floor with the elbows, especially as the weight starts to feel a little bit heavier through the movement. Okay, I definitely found that I was digging one elbow in to try and support the movement. That's why normally we have our hands up. Okay, so just make note of it and check in with yourself as you're doing it. Okay, so I'm going to put my imaginary box into the floor, so feel my spine flattening out, and then from here I'm going to squeeze as if I'm picking something off the floor with my glutes, and then I'm going to come up and set myself into this position to stay here. All right, and now we're going for 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Makes that exercise much harder. Good. Resetting between each movement here will help these glutes stay engaged. Okay, I'm done with one side. I'm going to move to my other side. That makes a massive difference, bringing in that tempo. Reduce my numbers considerably. Okay, change sides. Okay, I'm going to record my numbers, have a bit of a rest, and then we'll go back into fly. And again, the focus this time is attention onto the, the focus is the tempo again. Okay, so let's start this movement with a really good hinge position. First of all, just tucking that tailbone under slightly, getting your new neutral, maintaining that new neutral as we hinge back. Letting the weights fall down in front of your chest and then setting your shoulders back and down. The shoulders remain in this position as we move. So we're going to go for our 3-1, 3-1, but my shoulders stay set. Same as in your row. Good, watch out for that duck head when we start to move our upper spine to try and compensate for this movement. Everything should be as still as it was in number 1 and rep number 2. And again, don't know about you, but bringing in that tempo has definitely changed my numbers. Okay. Okay, so next three movements. You're going to be doing your just a normal plank on elbows, and then we'll just go to max on that one, so until you can't do it anymore. And then we'll do the same on either side, like side planks. What we'll do though is we will start with your weaker side plank. So whatever side is more difficult, or if you know which one you can't hold as long, let's start with that one, and then we'll do our strong side after that. Okay, so what you might need actually is a stopwatch. So grab your phone, put your stopwatch on, so that you can record the time on this one. Yeah. Alrighty. I'll do the same. So for these, if you do need to or want to shut the camera off, that's absolutely fine, because we'll be doing things at different times probably. I'll demonstrate the plank for you so you're really clear about how to do that very well. I can't even find my stopwatch. Here we go. Okay, so when we get into the plank position, you see so many different variations of this. But the first thing to say is that the more tension we can create, the better off you'll be in that plank position. Okay, so that will go from all the way from your feet all the way up to the top of your head. You're going to bring your feet together. So if you tend to do the plank with your feet apart, let's bring them together, because then you can get a squeeze through the knees, groin, and through the heels, which will help with tension. You're going to tuck your tailbone under when you are in a plank position, and you are going to also check that your shoulders are above your elbows, so not out here and not too much over. That's going to be even tougher. So we get into our plank position, tucking the tailbone under, which guarantees that we're trying to activate the core. So if you've done any core stuff where you're pressing the spine into the floor, this is the same idea here. Squeeze the bum, push away from the floor. So shoulders are above elbows, you're pushing away, so you're activating the lats. Squeeze your heels together, squeeze your groin.
Thousands of miles from Earth. Thousands of miles from Earth. On the far side of the universe.
Amber's planning her teaching session, so apologies for that.
Sorry.
Okay, so write down your score for your plank. If you're still going, as I said, always carry on. Don't stop. I'm going to get ready to get into my non-dominant side for my side plank. Okay, so split the side plank. I'm going to do one foot on top of the other, but you can do one foot at the front and one foot, that top foot you can put it at the front or behind, depending on how you feel in this plank, side plank position, okay? So a couple of things we're going to try and just activate before we get into the plank, and one is this whole idea of pushing away from the floor. So we're not allowing ourselves to just collapse into that shoulder. So pushing away from the floor before you even start this movement. Straight away, if we do that, we also lift up and you can feel yourself bracing a little bit, higher chest. Okay, when we're in the position, bum, bum, bum. So you just got to squeeze that bum as tight as you can. You can start with your hand out here, or you can have your hand up. That is up to you. What you're going to do is check that you've got your hips both kind of facing forward, so not tilting back, horizontal, or I should say vertical to the floor. You've got a straight line from the top of your head to your feet, pulling those shoulder blades back and down. All right, that's my non-dominant side. I'm going to write my score down as my rest period. Alrighty, so I'm going to start on my what should be stronger side. Get my stopwatch ready. And I'm going to go in 5, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Again, I'm going to squeeze my bum as tight as I can, pushing my hips forward, making sure they are in line and they're not leaning back. I've got a bit of a sore foot, so I'm going to bring one foot in front of the other. So again, if you're still in that position, you keep going. Keep pushing. Good. And we'll just let the camera go for a minute until people are set. Okay, and then if you are still working, just carry on. Those that are finished, we can get ourselves into a bit of a cool down. Just starting with reaching to the side and just stretching out those obliques immediately after the other side. You can go overhead if you want with that. Okay, and then down into child's pose. So go knees out. Good, and then we're going to sit and just stretch out the hamstrings. Let's go legs apart, just so you get it into the groin a little bit. Alrighty, okay, well done on completing dumbbell session number 2. Make sure you record those scores. It might be good to start putting them into a bit of a, almost feels like what feels like a chart or an Excel sheet, just so you can start to see your progress from week to week. Well done, see you in session 3.